I actually want to say this in defense of black women. They're the most loyal to black men. They'll die for black men, and they've loved me the most. Period. Like, so I said everything that I said, but these women will stop going on the girls' trips to be with a black man, right? You know, so that is the case. But the thing is, and it's not fair, black women experience racism. They experience all of these different things, but guess what? The other women don't. So they're ready to be submissive. They're ready to just, they have no care in the world. They just, it's just easier to be with them. And again, it's not fair, but it's just reality because black women have it the hardest in the world. So when it comes time to marriage, the white girls and the Asian girls, it's easy to do it because they don't need to heal. But if you want to be with a black woman, you have to walk her through, like you have to really be part of her journey. They'll die for black men.
Dying? Where? Dyeing their hair? Now, when I saw this clip, I was interested in what the comment section had to say, and sure enough, just like I thought, the women loved what he had to say. Now, this channel is not geared toward race, but it is geared toward dispelling the myths and propaganda that some of us may be too afraid to speak out against. But as I've said before, I've been diagnosed with productive pettiness, and I cannot help myself. So let's get into it. If indeed racial disparity and trials and tribulations are the root cause of masculinity and unsubmissiveness in a woman that happens to be black, then it would stand to reason that the closer that one is to racism, the more uncooperative and masculine they would be. The evidence would show that during Reconstruction and in the height of Jim Crow, the women would have been considerably more masculine. But why is it that during the worst moments in history, the marital rate was higher, the nuclear family was intact, and being single and or a single mother was no badge of honor? Men were men and women were women. You see, one of the problems with using the term black community is that it has a tendency of tossing everyone into a group that forces them to answer for the problematic behaviors of people that they've never met. And so when a man complains about black women in his vicinity and frames the narrative as a problem with black women, there are black women from other communities that will then come to the defense of these particular black women, and nothing ever gets fixed. And when a man conjures up an excuse for the reason for the problematic behavior, he gives the women from all of the communities a place to run and hide. But let's deal with this from a logical standpoint. In the height of Jim Crow, was this common behavior amongst black women? This is utter disrespect for this man's establishment and the man himself. So is this level of disrespect a result of racial disparity? This is not a result of an era that our predecessors endured and survived through cooperative efforts and defined roles. This is cultural, and it is new. And though there are many women in this culture that happen to be black, there are black men and women who come from a similar lineage of predecessors who endured racial disparity that understand that this is a community of melanated individuals with strange practices and foreign ideals that do not reflect the progress or the plight of their predecessors. And being black does not bind you to the stagnation in development where you must pause and give understanding because a particular group of people that happen to share the same skin complexion as you do decided to mock the tradition of their predecessors and devolve into dollar-driven divas of debauchery. Let's not pretend like somehow the men need to be more understanding of this as if somehow it is tied to this. It is not. These women disrespect their foremothers. Many of them think their predecessors were weak for having been in a supportive role to their husbands. Many of them look at their predecessors as disempowered for having functional nuclear families where there was no high abortion rate, and a strong woman was not defined as a woman who is being as disagreeable as possible. And there was also a time when the elder women required a standard of conduct befitting of a lady. But now they co-sign the ratchet behavior.
But then they told me to look at was it what? And I did. Don't worry, don't worry, don't worry, don't worry, don't worry, don't worry. And here's what I said. Now that's audacity. That is audacity. And that is the ability for women to take charge.
What?